Basketball in the United States is dying and people can't even tell. And it's not a shortage of talent, more so a loss in how the game is played. Basketball is built on fundamentals, team play, and toughness. Nowadays, thanks to the lights of Devontae Friga, Rod Wave Elite, Cam Wilder, and people like MK, MK, I forget his name. But thanks to that, we have ISO ball, we got highlights, and it's all over social media. And this is what people are glorifying in today's date in the basketball game. And I have nothing against Friga or the MK guy or the Cam Wilder guy, because to be honest, they look like nice guys. I'm just looking at it for the content that is being spread. And although it might be fun to watch, like I can sit down and watch it here and there. Specifically the MK guy, he travels and it just looks like they're not even playing basketball. Like it's such a disservice to the game Dr. Naismith created. They're just fighting, and I don't know how they don't end up fighting, because if it was me, if you push me like that, I'm throwing a ball on your dome right away. I think the formula to what works in the US has been lost, and this leads me into my first point, AAU basketball. I have a big love and hate relationship with AAU basketball, but more so hate, including the recent times of what I heard, like what people were charging out the ass at some of these tournaments. Like it is just straight robbery. And I think you would be really surprised to find out that in these other countries out there in Europe, they don't have AAU. They have a different system called club. And club basketball focuses more on the development, on the fundamentals, not so much on, here, I'm going to pay a couple $100s this summer so my son can play 50 games and get uniforms and get shoes. And he actually didn't even get better. This hurts not only the game, but it hurts our younger generation more. This is not how you want them to pursue their dreams. First of all, they're not learning the right things in life, and they're not learning the right things within the game to succeed. A lot of you that watch this channel, I know y'all watch NBA too, and y'all are familiar with Luka Doncic, players like Nikola Jokic. But what you guys might not understand or see in the game is that these players excel in more detailed, more intricate areas, not so much the flashiness, the highlights. Why do you think Nikola Jokic is not as talked about? This guy just led the league in assist and rebounding. I don't think I've ever seen that before in my life. This guy's a center leading the league in assists. Do you realize how insane that sounds? And Luka, for instance, Luka dominates the game on the offensive end so easily. He makes it look so easy. He plays at his own pace. He spaces the floor well and passes the ball great. And there's not too much ball handling going on with these guys. They get to their spot. The most they'll do is put it between the legs or spin. It's not a lot of step back. If you ask me though, Luka is getting more flashy over the years, especially because he's in LA. But I want to talk about how I came up with the idea for this video. Because usually, I'm not the type of guy to say anything to my teammates for taking bad shots or bad possessions or anything like that. If you guys didn't know, usually throughout the week, I tend to play pickup basketball here and there. And on Sundays, I also play at a men's league. So I'm still within the game. I'm still playing the game I love. And I'm noticing these little stuff as I'm growing and maturing a little bit more that I didn't notice when I was in high school and middle school. But I wish I could teach my younger self this. I can now say to myself that playing pickup, I see that people tend to get lazy and sometimes just jack up threes or not run down to the other end and play defense. And oh my gosh, this gets my gears turning. Meanwhile, I'm passing, I'm cutting, I'm playing real basketball. I'm backdooring, I'm setting off ball screens. And if you know basketball, if you're a true basketball knower, you know that you can't just move with no sense. Like, you have to fill space correctly. And if nobody else is moving, how do you get them to move? You set an off ball screen. And if they don't move then what the fuck do you do then? So no one moves without the ball. No one has any pride to play any defense. And no one's like sitting down like, oh, this guy's not scoring on me anymore. No, they just get burnt. Same thing happens to me. When I'm playing this gameplay here in the rec, I walk in the rec, I walk in the park. You can clearly tell who knows how to play basketball and who has no clue what they're doing. You could have a 99 overall player and I could still be able to tell who's spacing the floor well, who's playing good defense, who's switching. And I think we can all agree that it's not as fun, not only individually for you, but for the team as well when they're not getting the ball. When a player or certain players are being selfish. Nobody's happy. Nobody's going to want to dive for loose balls. And I'm not saying that you have to dive for loose balls playing pickup, but you know what I mean. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Nobody's going to want to play defense. And honestly, sometimes it feels like I'm in a league of my own. And I don't know if it's just me, but I can truly feel when I play with players who have IQ, not only in this virtual game, but also in real life. It is a big difference on how the ball is moving, on how people are cutting. It makes a huge difference. And I want to make clear, it's not like basketball is going to die in the US. No, this is the birthplace. Like, football is never going to die in the UK. It's not. That's where it was invented. And there is so much talent. But if this continues, the best players in the world, like it is now, are not going to be from the United States. It's not going to happen. Once the Currys, once the KDs, once the LeBrons retire. I'm not saying Anthony Edwards isn't great. I'm not saying Devin Booker isn't great. But all of a sudden, you got guys like Nikola. You got guys like Luka. You got SGA, who's not from the US. He is from the North America, but not from the United States. You got guys from all different parts of the world that are now taking over the league. And this isn't bad. It just means the game is expanding. But the gap is going to be way larger if we don't hone in on the skills that we need to get now, and they'll just pass us in the race. I mean, in the early 90s, there was about 20 to 30 international players in the league. Now it's like 130, and I don't think there's a single NBA team that doesn't have an international player. And we just saw the MVP race. The MVP race was full of international guys. That was unheard of in the 90s or the 80s or anything like that. Yeah, the game has gotten better and it's expanded, but we don't want the gap to be huge. Another problem that feeds into this is recruiting. You've got coaches taking up jobs that don't know basketball, that honestly don't know what they're doing. They were just put there. They might have heart and they might have grit, but they don't know ball. And they tend to recruit and look for taller players or more athletic players or flashier players. There's a saying that my dad told me is in Spanish, and it goes, Los saltamontes nunca juegan baloncesto. Something like that. I'll translate that for you guys. But for my Boricuas that know that saying, when I was growing up, I learned that. I don't think it translates completely in English. If it doesn't make sense in English, sorry guys. And these coaches that'll take an athletic guy who can just dunk are overlooking that other guy who's honed in on the fundamentals, has all the skills, plays defense, and you're just overlooking him. And meanwhile, you have no clue what he could have turned into. So what do you do? Sooner or later, things are going to have to change. Are you going to be ready for it though? What I would do if I was in your shoes, because I wish, now that I'm maturing, I wish that I knew this back then, when I was in high school, when I was in middle school. So what I want to do is teach the younger version of myself these things, to play the game the right way. So study the game, study basketball, take time out to watch film, watch yourself play, take 2-foot stops, guys. If you play off 2 feet in middle school and in high school, you will be elite. Because in college, if you end up getting to college and playing basketball in college, you're gonna have to play off 2 feet. Like, you have to. These guys are really athletic and they know how to play the game. You can play off floaters, you can pump fake, but focus on the fundamentals. Don't focus on the cone drills where you put it between your legs 60 times and then you step back and then you travel, you take a third step. No, that's not. No. The game of basketball has gotten lost a little bit in the United States. That is not the game. And watch FIBA. Watch overseas basketball. I can't stress this enough. I love that my dad sat me down when I was younger to watch the qualifiers when they came around. The FIBA qualifiers are actually so fun to watch because it's unlike the NBA. Those guys are always playing their heart out and they play a whole different brand of basketball. It's not just one-on-one. It's not just the pick and roll. Yeah, they utilize these things, but it's cutting, it's backdooring, it's moving without the ball. I just love the game too much to just not say what I have to say. I think I would be doing it a disservice, and I think we're doing it a disservice here in the United States. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys for tuning in once again, though. If you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. Go like and subscribe down there, and I'll talk to you guys later. Nos vemos.